What you are about to hear will blow your mind and give you six-pack abs without even exercising.
Pull up a bar stool and relax.
Hey, who wants to have some fun?
You've made it to Happy Hour with John Gaskins.
Oh, no. Not again.
Get ready for entertaining local and regional sports talk that will change your life. Or not.
And by the way, when you're telling these little stories, here's a good idea. Have a point. It makes it so much more interesting for the listener.
Here's your host, John Gaskins.
Here's Johnny. Hello! Ah!
I'm back, baby! I'm back!
Hey, happy hour on a Monday. It's game week, finally. Hallelujah. I've got a lime hard seltzer from Costco to celebrate. It's delicious, thank you. And the Jacks and the Yotes kick off their season on Saturday. And in a moment, I'll tell you the stat not talked about nearly enough when it comes to South Dakota State's super freak, Chase Mason. He has a lot of wow numbers attached to his name, but I have one stat that may be the most important as the season starts Saturday. Augie and USF start Thursday. Our Sioux Falls metro area high schools on Friday. We'll have on KSFL TV and Midwest Sports Plus the app, the Howard Woodfield doubleheader at 5 on Friday. Zach Borg, who's done a bang-up job in those Camp Confidential prep football previews. You can find it at SiouxFallsLive.com. Zach has the calls of Washington and Rapid City Central, then O'Gorman and Lincoln on Friday. I'll be in Harrisburg Saturday night for the Tiger Bowl on Midwest Sports Plus. Jefferson and Harrisburg, two state title contenders. Second-year Cavs coach Eric Struck will stop by later in this show. An hour north of Harrisburg on Saturday, same kickoff time, 6 o'clock. Dan Jackson's second season begins in Brookings, and we chatted with him for over a half hour today. Lots of up-to-date insight for Jacks fans on the hottest topics. It should be a bloodbath against Stetson. They are 47.5-point favorites against the lowest-rated team in the FCS last year. USD, meanwhile, has a much more challenging game against an 8-5 playoff team, Central Connecticut State, 1 o'clock in the Dome, and new head coach Matt Vitztham joins us tomorrow, and we'll talk plenty of Yotes then. But let's start our first happy hour game week of 2026 by locking in on the absolute number one story, number one player to watch in this state all season long, and it's not even close. It's Chase Mason. Physical specimen. Looks like a Jack superhero. Rocket arm. Runs like a deer. Just a stick of dynamite waiting to explode. We all know that. And this is it. His last chance to not just be the golden boy, but have a golden year. A Walter Payton Award, bringing the FCS National Championship Trophy back to Brookings. That's why he came back and turned down 7-figure legit offers from the Big Ten and the SEC. And he wants to get as high on that NFL draft board as he possibly can. And there is zero reason to believe that he won't dazzle, that the Jacks offense won't be more explosive, that he won't be, at least in the room, at the Walter Payton Award ceremony. And SDSU won't at least be in the semifinals, one win away from Nashville. They're picked preseason number 3. For one, look at him and watch last year's highlights. 2, you want stats? Sure. Perhaps you've memorized them, but in case you haven't. 6'4", 240 pounds, clocked recently at 22 miles an hour. That equates to somewhere around the 4.4 in the 40. With him last year, Jacks, 37 points a game, 8-1. Only loss in the playoffs to Montana, third best team in the country. Without Chase Mason, SDSU averaged fewer than 20 points a game and went 1-4. In 9 games, he threw 15 touchdown passes, ran for 6 TDs, 223 passing yards a game, 9 per attempt. That's 2 yards more than the NFL average. It means he's completing passes downfield at a high level. And he completed 65% of his passes, 1% higher than the NFL average. And he racked those up against not just tomato cans, but Montana State, the defending champ, against New Hampshire in the snow in the playoffs, nearly perfect. Montana, 370-plus yards in the loss. None of those stats to me were nearly as important as the one stat of Chase Mason's that was glaringly low. The number 4. That's how many interceptions he threw. 4 picks in 9 games, 4 picks in 224 attempts, 2 of them against Montana when he had to get risky because they had to keep up. But just take a moment to think about the bigger picture. His first year as a starting college quarterback, his first year starting at quarterback, period, in 6 years, and he threw only 4 interceptions in 9 games. To me, that stat about what Chase Mason didn't do is just as important, if not more, than the bright, shiny stats of what he does do. Matt Zimmer wrote a Chase Mason feature over the weekend at Sioux Falls Live and mentioned that he was good last year, but that his accuracy was not at an NFL level. And that's ultimately what kept previous SDSU quarterbacks like Mark Gronowski and Taron Christian from getting drafted. Now, keep in mind, Mason completed 65% of his passes, as I said, 1% above the NFL average. But if you watched some games, you saw him at times rocket throws over heads and hands. He has the occasional clunker. But here's his coach, Dan Jackson, today, when I asked him about what he has seen of Mason spring and fall in the last 2 weeks since we last talked to Dan to improve the accuracy and improve that draft stock.
I challenge the accuracy comment. I guess there's times if you come watch us at practice, you know what he's not going to do is throw a ball somewhere that he shouldn't. He is accurate. He's probably the most accurate passer that I've seen, and I get to see him on a day-to-day basis. So if he needs to fit it into a window, he can get it there in a hurry and he can place it. Anyways, but I get a chance to see him every day. Not everybody does. So I would say that he's in a good place. He's improved a ton. Definitely his ability to move the pocket, run when he needs to. He looks so much more comfortable creating with his legs, and then throwing the ball. So he's made some really, really big strides. I can't wait. He's healthy. I'm proud of him. He's going to have a great fall.
So there's Dan Jackson. Eric Eidsness talked about it with me a couple of weeks ago. There's footwork, there's reading defenses, processing before the play. He's even better. Not mastered yet, but even better at the little things that get you into NFL camps and get you drafted. Now, did you notice what Dan said early in that clip? It is what Chase Mason does not do. He does not make the big mistake. 4 picks, 224 attempts, 9 games. So Saturday at Stetson, and most likely all season long, whether the Jacks are playing teams like Stetson or New Haven or Murray State, Northern Iowa, or if they're playing the biggest obstacles, Youngstown State, Illinois State, UND, USD. The Super Freak will be full of superhero highlights and stats. This offense is going to be far more explosive than last season if his top downfield threat, Lofton Negroski, stays healthy, and there's even more than last year. Weapons. But how often Chase continues to prevent the big mistake in those tight games against the best teams and then in the playoffs will determine if he hoists the Walter Payton Trophy and the National Championship Trophy in January. And by the way, Beau Brungard, in winning the Walter Payton Award last year, 26 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 1 less pick in 6 fewer games than Chase Mason. And the kid who guided Montana State to the national title, Justin Lamson, same numbers, 26 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. That's what it takes. So Mason has to be even better at avoiding picks to take home the hardware. And oh, by the way, Brungard, like Mason, a running machine if he has to be. He had over 1,400 yards rushing, about 100 a game. Chase only ran for 174 all year in 9 games. We didn't see the breakaways that we saw when he came in some Wildcat plays as Mark Gronowski's backup. But a few more of those, of the big hitters, 100-yard games, rushing, and it will be a special season. Lamson, by the way, ran for about half of what Brungard ran for, but when in a pickle, he could beat you with his legs as well. We know Chase can do it. His line, his weapons, more and better. Avoid the big mistake. This could be quite a season. It will be quite a season. And now with more, it's Dan Jackson time.